Iowa for August 8th, 2023 will come to order. I'll begin by calling the roll. And there are several people that are vacationing right now. Regent Dunkel.
Here.
Regent Barker.
Here.
Regent Crow.
Here.
Regent Rouse.
Here.
Regent Bates.
Here.
Regent Lindemeyer is absent. Regent Kramer, I believe, is absent. Regent Reiswick is absent. Regent Richards is present. We have a quorum and the meeting can proceed. This time I'd like to recognize President Wilson, who will make remarks and
Sorry, President, it looks like Regent Reiswick has joined also.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. We have a quorum. We appreciate it. Thank you, JC. President Wilson.
Good morning, President Richards. Good morning, members of the board. We really appreciate this opportunity to make some comments about the upcoming issue. As most of you know, the University of Iowa shares a long history with Mercy Iowa City. Many of our employees are connected as neighbors and as family members and friends across the two institutions. And so we've been very anxious to watch what's happening with Mercy Iowa City. Mercy Iowa City leadership did approach us and ask us to submit a bid to continue their long tradition of healthcare in our community and beyond. And we recognize that the outcome is, of course, in the hands of the bankruptcy court, but we share a goal to preserve the ability to offer healthcare access to a wide variety of individuals, both in the community and beyond. As all of you know, the state's healthcare system is increasingly stressed. We have an aging population. We have more and more complex needs among our patients and a shortage of physicians. So we, as the University of Iowa, remain committed to our mission of care for all citizens of the state. And in many ways, this particular move is part of that commitment. The potential affiliation with Mercy Iowa City is one way we can continue to meet the needs, the healthcare needs of citizens in this community and in outlying areas around our community, as well as across the state, frankly. We are always short of beds, as you all know. So our goal is to continue to provide healthcare, train physicians, train clinical scientists, and do cutting-edge research. And this is part of our effort to make sure that we're serving the needs of the state. So happy to answer any questions, but I just want to make a commitment to Denise Jamieson, who's here, I think, on the Zoom call. Welcome her. She's jumped right in under lots of moving pieces and parts, and we're really delighted to have her here. And I think she would like to make some remarks as well. I see her in another room. Denise, I think you're here, right?
Yes, I am here. Thank you very much for the opportunity to really echo what President Wilson has already outlined. UIL Healthcare is committed to caring for all Iowans, including those who call Iowa City and its nearby communities home. And as we know, our employees and leaders live, work, and receive their healthcare in this community. And we have and will continue to invest in Iowa, its people, and its economy. We know that this bankruptcy proceeding is very complex and is going to take some time to play out in the court. It's an evolving situation. We still have many unanswered questions. But at the same time, we're very confident that if approved by the bankruptcy court to move forward, the affiliation between University of Iowa Healthcare with Mercy Iowa City would really be in the best interests of our patients and the community and our employees, including our providers and physicians. It's critically important that as this moves through the courts, Mercy Iowa City continues to see patients there not be disruption in care. And this will really help all of our patients receive organized, timely, high-quality healthcare services from both Mercy Iowa City as well as University of Iowa Healthcare. We are excited about a potential future where our entities would join as one, and we really think this would be in the best interests of the state's healthcare needs. Over the next weeks, months, we will spend time collaborating with Mercy Iowa City's current employees and leaderships to better understand their needs and their ideas and their concerns, and to understand which services will best serve the community. So thank you for the opportunity to comment. I'm going to now turn it over to Joe Clamon, whose legal team has done a remarkable job leading us through this very complex effort, and he's going to provide a few more details about exactly how this is unfolding.
Thank you to the Board of Regents for an opportunity to speak about this. As Dr. Jamieson and President Wilson said, in an effort to find solutions to this difficult situation, our teams have worked rapidly and tirelessly in deep collaboration with our colleagues at Mercy. It is clear to all of us that having a joint commitment to providing healthcare locally while preserving access to care and access to jobs is at the core of this project. Mercy Iowa City's filing yesterday initiated a voluntary Chapter 11 bankruptcy process in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Northern District of Iowa to pursue a sale of assets via auction. The first hearing to begin that process is scheduled in a few hours. It will be a transparent and orderly process overseen by the court, and the court is ultimately responsible for approving the winning bid. The Chapter 11 bankruptcy process will allow Mercy Iowa City to continue to operate as usual and maintain its commitments to stakeholders while addressing its financial challenges. This includes continuing to see patients. Mercy Iowa City and the state of Iowa, on behalf of the University of Iowa, have negotiated a proposed agreement that's here presented to you for your consideration. It is an agreement to acquire the assets of Mercy Iowa City and entered into in advance of a bankruptcy auction. Under the terms of the proposed agreement, the state of Iowa, on behalf of the University of Iowa, would agree in advance of the auction to acquire the assets of Mercy Iowa City for $20 million so that its healthcare providers, employees, trainees, and volunteers can continue to do the great work that they do every day in the long tradition of the Sisters of Mercy. In consideration for reaching an agreement in advance of the auction, the state of Iowa has agreed to certain bid protections that honor and protect the interests of the state of Iowa and the University of Iowa. The state of Iowa would agree to preserve both institutions' commitment to charity care, to maintain an open medical staff at Mercy Iowa City, to establish an advisory board to obtain independent community member input into its operations, to have an operational leader oversee its operations, and to make routine and strategic capital investments into Mercy Iowa City consistent with its goals and our goals. While the bankruptcy process is complex and, as has been said many times this morning, much, including the outcome, is uncertain as to who the court will determine has the best offer, the University of Iowa Healthcare believes sincerely that the proposed agreement is in the best interests of the University of Iowa, Mercy Iowa City, the patients, physicians, providers, employees, and volunteers who support that, and the longstanding community institutions. Therefore, we respectfully request that the board consider the actions set forth in the docket memorandum and are more than happy to answer any and all questions.
Are there any questions from the members of the board?
Not a question, but I want to just say that I've been at the University of Iowa Hospital the last about a week. My husband's down there. I see how full they are, but we have great care. And if that care can be transferred over and include Mercy, it's good for the state of Iowa. I come from Dubuque County to go down there. So this is a state, it's a whole issue for all of us. So I'm 100% behind this.
Joe, can you just go through the time?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Can you just go through the timeline just a little bit? We put up a deposit, and what's our level of commitment at that point? Just that kind of thing.
Yes, I absolutely can. Thank you for your question about the timeline. The timeline will be set by the bankruptcy judge beginning with the hearings today, so I can't say definitively what that timeline would be. We are going to ask for an aggressive timeline because that's what's in the best interest of the patients and the employees of that institution. As a result, we would like to ask for a timeline whereby the actual auction takes place no later than the end of September. And that the matter be resolved, we would hope, in October or November after we have the right regulatory filings. Obviously, that is a request that's going to be made by Mercy Iowa City, but we would support that request and we would support moving quickly. But ultimately, the judge in the case will set that timeline and we will convey that as soon as it is known by us.
Thank you.
Any other questions from any of the other regions? I know that everybody's putting a great deal of work into this, and I believe it is the best interest of the state of Iowa. President Wilson, is there anyone else that you are going to have speak?
No, I don't think so, but I just want to concur that our teams have been so busy and so diligent in looking over every aspect of this case. I just want to thank everybody who works at the University of Iowa, especially in our healthcare operations. They've just been around the clock. And so we feel good about what we're doing. We know it's in the best interest of the community and the state, and we're grateful to the board for thinking through the issues with us as well.
Thank you. I also want to acknowledge the work of our board staff who have been working with the UIHC and the University of Iowa health team. Amy Cleese and Mark Brown have been on a lot of calls.
Agreed. Thank you.
And have kept our board fairly up to date as things has developed. So thank you. A motion and a second are required to approve the action items as specified in the docket memorandum. At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Regent Bates, who is the chair of the UIHC committee.
Thank you, President Richards. I would like to move that we accept this proposal. Are there any questions or anything before we go forward? Any further discussion? I'd like to reiterate that everyone has done a wonderful job and couldn't thank them more. And I think it'll be really good for the state and for the community. So I would like to make that motion, President Richards.
Thank you, Regent Bates. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Regent Dunkel, seconded. Is there any further discussion? We will have a roll call vote. Regent Barker?
Yes.
Regent Bates?
Yes.
Regent Crow?
Yes.
Regent Ryswick?
Yes.
Regent Dunkel?
Yes.
Regent Rouse?
Yes.
Regent Kramer, Regent Lindemeyer are absent. Regent Richards votes yes. The motion is approved. Is there any other business to come before the Board of Regents? Hearing none, this meeting of the Board of Regents is adjourned.